The goat must always rise. The metaphysics of never resting. Jesse Cardiff isn't trying to be a great pool player. He's trying not to disappear. He hasn't dated, hasn't been to the movies, hasn't read a book, because that would take time away from the game. His identity depends on this grind. He believes mastery will buy him meaning. That's why Fats Brown isn't just a legend. He's a shadow. He's the stand-in for every voice that ever said Jesse wasn't enough. And now Jesse thinks if he beats the ghost, he'll silence the doubt. He thinks the cure for unworthiness is winning. I'm good, mister, but am I that good? That's the line that gives it all away. The one who still asks, still doubts. The one who needs to be great, isn't sure he even exists. So Jesse does what the ego always does. He calls forth the rival. He calls Fats up from the grave. And when Fats shows up, cool as a cue ball, Jesse's first words are, "You're dead." And Fats replies, "Not really. As long as people speak your name, you're not really dead." There it is. The entire ego strategy in one sentence. As long as they speak your name, you exist. As long as you're remembered, you matter. As long as you're the goat, you're real. But it's a trap. Because in the ego's world, being the best means never resting. Even after death, Fats is called out of peace to defend the crown. You called me. I didn't call you. Fats didn't start this game. Jesse did. And that's the metaphysical pivot. You called this world. You called this competition. You called this illusion of separation. You whispered your own name in fear, hoping the echo would come back as proof. But echoes can't give peace, and performance can't give identity, because identity was never missing. Fats tries to warn him. You shoot that ball, and you may win more than you bargained for. Jesse doesn't hear it. The ego never hears warnings when it smells victory. He makes the shot. He becomes the best. And just like that, he inherits the crown and the curse. Because now Jesse must rise. Now he's the name whispered in Sandusky, Ohio. Now he's the legend who must appear. He beat Fats. But he didn't escape him. He became him. Fats goes fishing. Jesse goes working. Fats returns to peace. Jesse enters the loop. He stands there at the end, shouting his name, Jesse Cardiff, Jesse Cardiff. As if saying it enough will make it true. As if that could replace the silence of knowing with the noise of being known. That's what being the best buys in the ego's world, a haunted spotlight. The goat must always rise. The crown must always be polished. And the fire you played with, now it's your stove. You like to play with fire, but you don't like to cook. That's Fat's sharpest line. Because Jesse didn't want truth. He wanted the illusion of control, the illusion of arrival. He thought being remembered meant he could finally rest. But in the ego's game, remembrance is debt. You owe the title. You owe the crown. You owe the legend a fresh round with every challenger. Fats tries to show him another way. I made love. I swam in the ocean. I walked uphill. I went places they never heard of billiards. And Jesse, all he hears is distraction. He thinks living is a trick shot to throw him off. But Fats didn't lose. Fats surrendered. Fats laid it all down. And in doing so, he won the only game worth playing. The ego is the idea of winning by losing. A Course in Miracles exposes the whole game. If you win at being the best, you lose the truth of who you are. Because the best requires comparison. And comparison requires separation. But God doesn't compare. Truth doesn't rank. Love doesn't keep score. Jesse played 300 points to prove he was something. Fats played the long game. And now Fats is gone fishing. Jesse is still in the hall. So if you're chasing your shot, if you think you need one more win, one more title, one more name drop before you can rest, ask yourself, do I want to be the best, or do I want to be free? Because in the ego's world, only the goat must always rise. Jesse wasn't just hungry to win. He was starving to be known. This wasn't about the geometry of the game. It was about the ache of invisibility. In his world, greatness was the only antidote to being forgotten. And in the ego's world, invisibility is the ultimate death. That's why he doesn't just want to win, he wants his name on the wall. He wants his portrait where Fats used to be. He wants to erase the old so the new can finally feel real. But nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists. That's why the crown never satisfies. That's why the legend must always be defended. He doesn't understand that Fats let him win. That's the real twist. Fats knew Jesse wouldn't believe anything short of victory, so he gave him the one thing that would make the lessons stick. Not a loss, but the burden of endless proof. You beat me, now you live. But it wasn't living. It was service to the title. It was resurrection on demand. And Jesse has no idea what he's signed up for. You play with fire, but you don't like to cook. The ego flirts with power but resents responsibility. It asks for the prize but refuses the process. Jesse wanted glory without transformation. He wanted to feel big, not to be free. That's why he keeps shouting his name. Jesse Cardiff. Jesse Cardiff. Jesse Cardiff. As if chanting could stabilize a false identity. As if volume could override doubt. But it never can. Because what is true needs no defense. And what is ego-made must always be defended. That's the real curse of the goat. Not that others challenge you, but that you must always rise to meet them. Even in death. Especially in death.